Welcome to Cooking with Andrea. Today I'm excited. We're making cioppino. So we're gonna. I have three shallots this size. I left one so I could cut it up in front of you, and I put 8 cloves of garlic in this size. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up. I'm gonna also move my pan here, turn my pan on because I want to get it warming a little bit. We're gonna do a hot pot. Turn it down so I have time to cut up this onion for you to see. So I'm just gonna cut it, and I cut it pretty thin. The thing is you want to be pretty thin. I already put my other knife away so that I could, because I got done doing these, so I cleaned those all up. And I don't want them too thick, but I also don't want them to be chopped real fine like I have been doing, because normally with cioppino you need to put it in. And if you use a shallot, one thing nice is it'll break up in the pot, which is good. Okay, so it's starting to get a little bit warm. I'm going to go ahead and add. You can use up to 6 tablespoons of extra virgin oil if you would like. I'm only going to do about 3 tablespoons. I think that'll be perfectly fine. And as soon as it heats up, I will go ahead and I will go ahead and throw the onions in, and then we'll chop up the garlic, and it'll be much easier. Yep. And so we're good there. And I'm really super excited. Okay. It gives me an error. Okay, we're good for a minute. Every once in a while I get an error. But one thing I do love is cooking on my induction, because it's right here, right in front of me. And then I have even more burners. It's not like 2, 4... and a warmer is not enough. Some days I have so many pots going you would not believe. But today I want to use this because I'm going to be simmering for just a bit. Now that I have all the onion cut up, I'm going to go ahead and raise my heat. And I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to me so you can see. In cioppino there is a lot of ingredients. Basically it is a nice seafood stew, basically. My husband loves it. This is one of my husband's nice dinners that I make him. Okay, so we're hot enough. Let me put the onion in. Oh, we got a little sizzle going on right there. We're gonna let these start to get cooked, and then as soon as they do, we'll put some nice garlic in there. Oh, smelling delicious already. Boy, yeah, I'm nice and down as low as I can go. I'm doing good. Let's get a good coat of olive oil on here. Now I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to get my big knife. I'm just going to cut my garlic because you know me, I like my garlic cut good. And that little knife, I was trying to be all dainty. No, I need my big knife. Just tuck your fingers. We want to finish making dinner, no ER trips. So, I'm just going to chop it up. I'm going to take and give a stir to my beautiful onions. Smells delicious. Shallots smell so good. And shallots aren't quite as strong as my white onion. Or my red onion, even for that matter. Shallots are a little bit softer for the palate, in my opinion. I'm not a big crunch of the onion. I love onion though, that's the funniest thing, but I'm not a big fan of the texture. So maybe I have texture issues. Well, I guess texture issues are better than some other issues, so we'll keep our texture issues, good Lord, and be grateful for our issues. So what I'm going to do is just stir up my onion just a little bit more. And now I'm going to move this closer to me because I'm kind of short. And this way I can see it better. Because now what I want to do is just monitor how soft my onions are getting. Gosh, you know, I always talk about smell vision. We need smell vision. Somebody needs to make that happen. You know, or pretend. But I don't know. Maybe I'm getting crazy there. So we have so many ingredients with Cioppino. We've got some good seafood tonight too. We've got some mussels, we've got some crab legs, and we've got some shrimp, and a few little other things in there. I think we got a couple little scallions. We didn't have many of those left, so we're gonna just use them up, put them in our Cioppino. Okay, we're good. So now what I'm gonna do is they're starting to get soft. I always do the fingernail touch, and they're good. So now what I'm going to do is I have enough oil. I'm going to add my garlic because I don't want my garlic to be added on high because what it'll do is turn around and burn it. If I burn my garlic, Cioppino will be no good. It is sauce based. It will not be any good whatsoever. So now we are going to come over and give a nice stir. Remember, I don't want nothing burning. Now, this is where if you wanted your olive, add a little bit more olive oil. That's why I said I'm not going to add it all at once. And that's about a tablespoon only. Because I don't want the garlic to burn. And I'll tell you something. If your garlic was starting to burn, just pull it off. And then get whatever you're going to deglaze the pan with. Today I'm going to deglaze with white wine. And, you know, I don't use wine too much, so I don't really know about wines and stuff. I just know it tastes good in there, but this is what I use as far as wine goes to deglaze. If anybody has a really good wine they use with their Cioppino, if you want to share with me, I'd be grateful. I'm always trying to improve what I do, especially a dish like this. This dish is for my hubby. I always try to make a nice dish for him. You know, something he really likes, and this is something he really likes. Okay, so guess what? My garlic and everything is cooking well. We're doing good. I'm going to put my olive oil over here because now I no longer need the olive oil. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of celery salt. I don't know why, but I sure like that celery salt in there. It tastes really good. I'm going to put 1/4 teaspoon of chili flakes. And I'm going to mix. You could put more chili flakes, but I'm not. Chili flakes will make things kind of hot, in my opinion. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and deglaze my pan. Everything is coming up nice. So here we go. And that was 3 cups of white wine. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to let this scrape the bottom and let this just sit here and simmer for a minute. Oh my gosh. And let this wine just infuse everything. Because it's going to cook right out. I'm not a wine drinker. Cannot stand it. I have tried a glass of wine. From the cheapest wine you could buy to a $20 glass of wine. I didn't like any of it. I'm just not a wine drinker. Never have been anybody who drinks alcohol either. But really just don't like wine. But I'll tell you something. When I started believing in wine is when I first did my chicken marsala. Never had eaten chicken marsala. And then I went to somebody's home and she served, my good friend, she served chicken marsala. And oh my God, open my eyes. That marsala is sweet. It's delicious. You use heavy cream. I could not taste any alcohol. But like I said, I don't usually drink alcohol anyways. But I couldn't taste anything. But boy, made such a difference. It was another avenue for me to make like a gravy. I also tried a red wine beef because I always made sirloin tips and noodles with like broth and things like that and gravy. But boy, I did with red wine and heavy cream, and boy, it sure made a whole different sauce. It totally opened my ideas in my head to go, oh, do this, do that. Okay, so we're getting good. So right now, what I'm going to do is, this is coming up nice. Just going to wait for a few more minutes to let it burn off. And then what I'm going to do is take and add 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of fennel seed. And then after I do that, mix in the seasonings, I'm going to go ahead and put my tomato product, get that all incorporated. Then I'm going to put my sugar and my parsley, and then my seafood stock. We're going to use the seafood stock. We're going to do 3 cups of that. And you can use any old seafood stock you'd want. any kind. But let me tell you something. In Nevada here, because we live in the desert, it's hard to find seafood stock. You know. I'm also going to use 1 whole bottle of clam juice. Give it a nice, rich taste. It'll go great with the beautiful cento tomatoes that we have. We have a crushed and we have a puree. It's going to be absolutely excellent. So delicioso. But I love making this dish, and after everything's incorporated, we'll let it simmer for about 2 hours. Then we'll come back and we'll add our seafood. In the meantime, we're going to make us a nice extra sour dough roll. It's absolutely delicious. And then I'm also going to make a salad for us, because this is actually going to be our dinner tonight. So I will get that all done, and we'll have a nice weekend dinner for my hubby. So this is up. I'm going to go ahead and add my cumin. Remember, that's 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of fennel. And then I'm going to stop there. And I'm just going to let this incorporate. Oh, because boy, you can smell the wine. You can smell the fennel. You can smell the cumin. You can smell the shallot and garlic as well. So, I know you guys can see this, and I'll push it back like that. About right there is where I can see, you can see everything's just bubbling, which is good. This is what I wanted to do. Want to cook for a few minutes. And then what I'm going to do is move these back. And we'll go forward. I love making this dish. So I have 1 can of tomato paste. It is 6 ounces. We have cento tomatoes, which are very good. I love these. These are my crushed, and this is my puree. A lot of times, a couple times, you know, I used whole tomatoes or peeled tomatoes and chopped tomatoes. I kind of like this texture a little bit better. It wasn't so much to fight to eat, you know. So this is doing great. We're going to keep letting it cook for a minute. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my bay leaf in, because I want it to incorporate with this mixture I have. A lot of times I won't add these because I have to stir. So what I'm going to do is use my wooden, and when I go to stir, I'm going to stir easy. Going to do like a toss, because you don't want to break your leaves up in there. But if I had whole tomatoes, I would wait and do the bay leaves. But since everything's kind of like on a puree, I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to get ready. First thing I'm going to add is my tomato paste, because we're cooking down real good here. And this is just going to give it such a good flavor. You know, the fennel, I never used to use the fennel. And then I kept reading, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to do the fennel. The only thing I did, though, is I puree my fennel. My husband does all that nice work for me. He does it all like that for me. Because I do not like the taste of the fennel seed when I bite into it. I do not like it. I think it's very pungent, very strong. So I ground mine. And then I get all that wonderful taste. But I don't get any of the pungent. Like, I hate when they do sausages, like when I go places, because we love to buy. When we're on vacation, we try every local butcher, including our own. Butcher Boy is ours, and he does a wonderful job. We've bought from some local farmers here too, because we try to do everything as fresh as possible, and we do try to support the people in our state, because we all need to live. We all need a paycheck. We need jobs. So I'm really into that. I'm going to go ahead and put my can of tomato puree in there. Oh, I love this because it's so tomatoey. I love pasta. I love broths and sauces, things like that. Especially, it's starting to get colder, but you know, this is one dinner where it's a nice dinner. So you eat it hot or cold. It doesn't matter. If you like your seafood and you like your Italian sauces, that's just like Mexican food. I could eat Mexican food every night. That's what I grew up on. Love it. I mean, I grew up on, fried potatoes too and ham and lots of pizza too. But, I could eat the hot dishes even if it's a little warm. Although, we're not very warm today. Even though we live in the desert, we live in the high desert. So we get snow and stuff. Oh, I got to show you. I pulled some of my grapes and I pulled some more vegetables out of my garden. We're so blessed to have them. I didn't have enough tomatoes though at this point in time to make my own cioppino sauce. There's been a few times where I've been lucky enough where I've been able to do it. Okay, so everything is good in here. I have my bay leaf. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of parsley. And remember, I'll go ahead and put everything in the description because when I have a lot of seasons like that, I'm getting old, I can make a mistake. This is, I think actually the parsley was only 1 tablespoon and my sugar is 2 tablespoons. So what we're going to do is put right in there like that. We're going to do just a nice mix. And we're just going to do this. And I can feel my bay leaf. And I can see them, so I'm being careful not to break them. I could see my shallots. Ooh, they're going to be beautiful. Okay, so we're just going to let this sit here for a minute. And we're going to let it simmer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to add our seafood stock and our clam juice. Now let me tell you something. If you want more seafood stock, go ahead, add more. Depends on how thick your broth, your cioppino is. The only problem with me using a puree, I may have to come in and use one more seafood stock because I don't want it this thick when I'm eating the cioppino. I want it to be a little thin, but I don't want it to be thick. But I just tasted it, and you can taste the wine. You can taste the seasonings real good. This needs to simmer on. I'll get it up to a rolling boil, and then what I'll do is drop it to a slow simmer, and then I'll probably keep it on until about 5 o'clock tonight, and then just let it simmer, and then it'll show me if I need to thin it or thicken. But I don't have to thicken it because what I used, so we're good. So we're coming up. I wanted to get a little bit of a bubble in there, but oh, that's almost perfect. This is actually very easy to make. If you pick up most of your items, it's really not super expensive because most of the time, seafood stock can be expensive. So you got to buy seafood stock when you can buy it, and just keep it because this I notice, and it could be just because of where I live, because we do live in the high desert. We don't have an ocean around us, so a lot of places don't carry a lot of extra seafood stock. So probably restaurants and things like that here close to us come in and buy it when they don't get their trucks over the mountain. So seafood stock can be expensive, but otherwise, my cento tomatoes, I always watch my local store and I see when they go on sale and I pick up like 4 cans at a time. So at any one God-given time, I can have 8 cans of tomatoes. I tell you. So what I'm going to do is add the whole bottle of clam juice. And I don't know why I must spill on myself today. I'm going to give it a stir. A stir. Okay. Then I'm going to add my 3 cups of seafood stock. Okay. And this is what I should have. I should have a little bit extra too, so that I can freeze a nice bowl of stock for my husband. So whenever he wants just a bowl, or I didn't decide what we were going to have for dinner, and he goes, "Hey, we'll have enough." I try to always have a couple of meals prepped. Bay leaves are all doing good. Nothing's broken, so we're good. Now, this is the texture that I would really like the cioppino. This is absolutely a perfect texture. It's not too runny, so everything sticks to the seafood, but when we go to stick our bread in, and it will thicken just a little bit as it cooks. But otherwise, we're going to bring this up going to turn it up a little bit higher and get this to boil fast. This is why I love using my new wave cooking, or my induction cooking, because this thing will come up super fast, even faster than my oven. So my induction ware, I love my induction ware, so the impatient part of me can just get started. So I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to drop the heat and let it simmer for about 2 hours. I'll grab my pan. I don't like that one. This is the one that belongs to that pot. Okay, so it should be coming up here. So relatively inexpensive. Just watch your stock, your cans of tomato. But otherwise, besides the seafood, but we got our seafood on sale. We got a whole bag of seafood for about 24 bucks, and it had mussels and shrimp and big crab legs and things like that in there. I love when me and my husband go on our deep sea fishing trips. Every once in a while we get to go on one, and we'll catch crab, and we'll catch all sorts of stuff, and we'll bring it home, and then we have our own fresh that we caught. But this is not the case this time, so we are eating where we can eat. But basically I'm just waiting for this to come up to a boil real fast. I want to show you that it needs to come up to a boil, and then drop your heat, cover it, and then I'll put my timer on for 2 hours, so we'll eat around 5:30, close to 6 o'clock. And in the interim, I'll go ahead and make the salad, get that ready, get our bread cut up. It's going to be a nice garlic sourdough, extra sourdough. I'm going to put it in the oven and crisp it all up, and we can just dip it into the sauce, crunch, crunch, and it will be delicious. Okay. Smells really good. You can see all the seasons. I'm going to take just a little bit and try. Just make sure, but you know, you can't tell until it's after it's been cooking for about an hour. Delicious. I'm one of those that always tasting to see how it is. Remember, flavor. Flavor, flavor, flavor. That's what you want. You know, I put 1/4 of a teaspoon of chili flakes in there, and I can barely taste it. But in my opinion, some things are supposed to be spicy and some things are not supposed to. I'm thinking it'll come through on the flip side. And if it wasn't spicy enough for you, you could always use more. Remember, ingredients are really easy. It's more what you and your family like. Like even a texture issue. It's what your family and you like. Okay, so we're coming up to boil. So, like I said, just in a few minutes. Then I'll clean up this lovely mess, and then we'll be back. But basically, that's all it is for Cioppino. And then when we come back, we're going to take the seafood and actually put it in the Cioppino. And that's how we're going to eat it. You know, it's starting to come up to boil. But it's very important that you see how it comes up to boil, because this boil process is a big deal. This is what will finish and make your sauce, in my opinion. Yep, so just a little bit longer. And then after an hour, I'll go in and I'll taste and see if it needs anything else. If I think it needs garlic powder, I'll add garlic powder, but I'll come back and tell you, or we'll add it together. But in my opinion, this is perfectly fine. I think we have enough. 9 cloves of garlic or 8 cloves of garlic is pretty good. You don't want anything to be too over, but although I do love garlic, I could eat garlic. No vampires around me, as much garlic as I can eat. Okay. This is what we want. We want the boiling. Okay. I'm going to let it boil just a few minutes more. And then I'll go ahead and get it covered. But you saw the little bubbles in there, so I'm going to let it boil to a higher bubble. And then we'll be back, okay? Welcome back. Okay, Cioppino is good. It's done. I've got garlic bread in the oven. I'm pulling the bay leaf out right now. Bay leaves. There's 4. So I'm looking for the other two real fast. Thank God, no breakage. Hopefully I'll find it. And sometimes I have to wait until I'm actually dishing. But you know what? We might be able to see it when I put the seafood in. I'm going to put the seafood in right now. And I'm just going to turn it up a little bit higher. So we're really, sauce is all done. Simmered perfect. I love the texture of it. Not too thick, not too thin. First I'm going to put the crab claws in. And just go ahead and push them down. Broke them up a little bit. Now, normally we would season our seafood too, but because we bought a bag of frozen seafood, it's already seasoned for us. It has a really beautiful blend on it. So I'm just going to take the shrimps and I'm going to put them in. Oh, I got to put the mussels in first, so to make sure they open all the way and they have a chance to cook. And then in a minute. But it's already cooked, so we don't have to worry about it. If you see it's open, it's already cooked. All it has to do is be warmed. But I have one that's not open, so if that one does not open, then we do not eat it. That's just the rule of thumb. Don't eat it if it doesn't open. But anyways, okay, so I think we're good. I'm going to let this sit in there for a minute. And like I said, everything just has to thaw. That's it. Or... yeah, everything's cooked. Oh, I forgot a leg. And now what I'm going to do is put the shrimp in. We have lots of shrimp with lots of seasoning. But we want lots of seasoning. Okay, so there we go. Oh my gosh, fantastic. It's already seasoned and it has a nice Italian blend of seasoning on our seafood. I've never seen that before. We bought it a couple of weeks ago. I had never seen that brand before. Normally we use just regular and we put it together ourselves, or if we've caught it, then that's what we use. And that's how we do it. But otherwise, it smells great, looks great. So this is pretty much what your seafood stew, because it's a little bit thicker than a soup, so it's not really a soup, it's more of a stew. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on, and we're just going to let this cook for a minute. And I'm going to get the garlic bread out. I want to show you the beautiful garlic bread. Delicious. I love garlic bread. And we have salad too for dinner tonight. Got some really good garlic bread. It's extra sour, and then I did it nice and kind of crispy here, and then by letting it sit out for a minute, I'll be even a little bit crispier by the time we put it on. But I wanted this really soured good dough bread because it's gonna make the taste just delicious. It'll make it so good. Okay, I'm gonna throw my bay leaves away. It's a good thing I don't mind cleaning my counters over and over. I make such a mess, but you got to make a mess when you're in cooking a little bit. Well, I don't mind cleaning, thank God. So, I got these at Bed Bath & Beyond. These were kind of cool. I got them on sale. They were Cioppino. They're like Cioppino bowls. So I got them. Or it reminds me of when we go to the restaurant and we get the Cioppino. Okay, so we're just going to let this just keep going for just a few more minutes. Wanted to show you me putting the seafood in because that's very important. Because if it weren't already cooked, you have to cook it in stages. Like you would have to do your crab first, mussels, and then shrimps. Because shrimp does not take too long to cook. And then if you had any other fish in there, you don't want to leave it in forever because then it'll become rubbery and overcooked. So it's very, very important to do it that way. But because everything is cooked, I just let it unfreeze just a couple hours ago, and I knew that I could get it in there and the broth be hot enough, or the Cioppino be hot enough, and we'd be good to go. And like I said, tonight it's our dinner, so we're kind of never done a video where it's actually our dinner right then and there. If we've done a video, then we've eaten it a couple hours later. So this is a new one for us, trying to coordinate everything and make everything look good and taste good and everything be nice and warm. Oh yeah, look at the toast. Oh, the French bread is just absolutely going to be nice. So when you sop it in the juice, it'll be excellent. I'm going to give this a try. Nice crunch. Lots of garlic, and lots of butter, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Okay. Oh, everything looks beautiful. Oh, I just made a mess. Okay. We're going to get ready to plate. Just going to put it in our nice bowls so we have lots of room. Push it around, get everything cracked, and it'll be delicious. Okay, there we go. Oh, it helps if I put it to the middle of the burner. You cook a lot better, a lot faster. But hopefully you'll try this. This is actually a pretty good recipe. And like I said, you can add or omit anything you would choose. You can add more garlic too. I've tried the sauce. The sauce is absolutely good. The fennel actually is very good. This is the first time I've really used, or maybe the second time I used fennel. I think the first time I used the fennel seed, so I didn't like it. But the ground fennel, really, really good. And fennel can be very strong. So I don't feel that it's strong at all. And like I said, I'll have all the directions in the description box. And, you know, I appreciate you guys coming in to watch and stuff. I really appreciate it. This is my fun time. I always tell my hubby, oh, my cooking is therapy. I love to cook. It makes me feel so much better. After a long week, coming in and cooking and having that time, it's just awesome. And I'm really, really super fortunate and blessed. My husband's right here with me all the time too, so I'm so lucky. So this looks fantastic, and I am just going to do one test. Just want to check my seafood, make sure that nothing is cooking too harsh. All my shrimps have opened so beautifully. I'm just going to let this cook for a few minutes more, and then we're going to come back. I don't want to keep you on the camera doing this, so we'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, found one more bay leaf. I'm only missing one, so thank God. So we're going to get ready, and we're going to plate. We are ready to eat. Looks fantastic. Smells delicious. Okay. I'm going to turn this off and bring this closer to me because I'm a little short. Okay. I have to grab another utensil because now I don't want all the juice in there. Now I want to grab out some goodness. Ow. Nice and hot. I'm looking for the bay leaf as well. Okay, mussels are open. And what I was talking about earlier, shrimp. When you put the shrimp in frozen, I said the shrimp's open. Usually they're closed right here on the sides, and so when they start to cook, they come right open. And my mussels are open, so this is beautiful. And let me get another one. Ow, that's hot. Got to make the plate look pretty too. We want to enjoy it and it look nice. All at one time. Okay, so what we want to do, and then what I'm going to do is just clean my plate. If you like the content, if you would please like and subscribe, I'd be so very grateful. I appreciate you coming into our home and cooking with me. I'm just going to move all this, and basically this is how it looks. And then what I do is I take two pieces we'll take the two even ones, and I just put them in like that. So there is shrimp, there's tomato slices inside, or the crushed tomato, and then there's more shrimp and all this beautiful broth. And then I also put a lemon. Usually I put the lemon right here, so they can go ahead and just take it and squeeze it on their dish. And that's kind of how I serve our cioppino at our house. I'm a big lemon freak, so I love lemon. So this is my cioppino. I hope you try it. If you like seafood, if you don't, hey, there's another video. I'll bring one for us meat eaters or us salad eaters or whatever. But I want to thank you, and thank you all new subscribers and all the people that follow me. And I appreciate you all very much. Take care and enjoy.